What is up, dudes? It's Super Kick Weekly time.
Super Kick Weekly.
The brand Big
You know,
Vito
it's
T. We're actually weekly, man. We made it
weekly.
2 weeks in a row.
I can't believe it.
Congrats to us. Give us a little Barry Horowitz pat on the back there
Yep,
in honor of
amazing.
the
What were we
Horowitz
last week? Super
Meister.
Kick randomly.
Yeah,
What
I
I say?
believe you settled in on Super Kick whenever, which is
Yeah,
I
Super
think
Kick whenever.
perfect. It's whenever we feel like it. Damn it, we're not a slave to
Yeah,
the system.
we'll get there.
That's what people got to understand. All right,
Yeah,
like ain't we ain't about that. We ain't about that
yeah,
life. But Big Vito
yeah.
T, my man, what is up, dude?
Oh, it's not much is going up actually. What's going down? What's going down with you?
Well, there's a lot going down. Busy every single day with kids sports or something like that. So it's been hectic, but we squeezed in this show. Uh, the theme of this show is going to be to go back in time, if you will, 10 years.
Yeah.
And man, what can change in 10 years? We found that out
Oh,
watching this
oh
show.
man.
We went back in
Oh
the time machine 10 years to see what WWE was like 10 years ago and kind of try to contrast and compare as far as today. So, yes, that is the meat of the show. Who
Remember
knows?
where you were 10 years ago?
I do.
What was a 2013 brand like?
This was the year I went to my first WrestleMania. So, it's
Oh, yeah, that's right.
pretty monumental. So, watching this show that took place like 6 months later is quite a uh there's
Give me
so
one
many.
second here.
We got at least uh-oh.
All right, momentary loss for Rita. Oh, I'm back.
We got at least two complete burials on this show uh of guys that were uh thought to be on their way up, thought to be made men at the time just 6 months
Yep,
earlier. And we'll get into all that as it would
yep.
be. But let's see here. Let me do this.
Okay.
So yeah, Night of Champions 2013. This card took
Yep,
place roughly 10 years ago this month in
yep.
WWE. And like you're saying, just all kinds of changes. Vito, my man, you've got some random facts pulled up about the show. Do you want to go over those now, or should we just kind of do them as we go along here?
Um, let's do them as we go along, and then at the end, I'll do the hard facts of how many people and where and when and how.
Sweet.
But I got some notes throughout.
Well, I do know this was in Detroit,
Yes,
which will be a very interesting note, a very interesting Easter egg. So stay tuned for that. As
at
far
the Joe
as
Louis Arena.
as far as a Detroit tie-in,
Yeah.
there you go.
The
Uh,
attendance says 10,500.
did you notice? I mean, in
I don't
W,
know where that lies in the Joe Louis Arena, but if you know, then there you go.
yeah, I
But
mean, I think that's pretty much. I mean, it's a smaller arena, I think, but I don't know the hard stats on that. I noticed they did have
yeah,
the crowd lit weird with the red and blue lights. Um, and then there were some areas that were completely black. So I wondered, like, was there just no one in the crowd in those sections, or you know what I mean? Like, I
I
wondered
didn't
what the
notice
deal
what the
was.
crowd looked like. I did notice that they were a shit crowd for most of the night.
it really seemed like a crowd that wasn't really following the product at the time, which
Yeah,
we'll get into as some of these matches go on, because it's just like
yeah,
eh, kind of a different crowd even for then. I don't think it has anything to do with the era. I just think it has to do, I don't know what it has to do with, but
yeah,
we'll try to dissect that. So this show, weirdly enough, kicks off with an angle,
yeah, yeah.
which I
Just
hate.
Triple H coming out, and you know me, I don't like villain authority. I cannot stand villain authority. Stay in the back. I hate it.
Well, this is why we got sick of it, because this was years
Yeah,
of this.
yeah,
And, but he comes out, makes it known that he's the boss and all that. So, you know, typical thing. And this whole thing, I guess it was just to fill time as I'm like looking at it. Like, but you could have made the show 20 minutes shorter without
yeah.
any
We'll
of
get into
this.
time.
I don't see what the point was. Heyman
I have
comes out.
serious time issues in this show.
Heyman comes out with Curtis Axel. Heyman's all stressed out because he's got to be in this 2-on-1 match with Punk.
And he
Him
looks
and
like
Curtis
shit.
Axel against Punk. Yes, they do the whole thing where it's like Paul Heyman can't sleep. And I briefly remember this. I mean, I was watching at the time. Were you watching at the time?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
I've
mean,
watched all of it.
we were both pretty current.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Because I had a huge problem with this. Can we just stop here? I want to get your opinion on
okay.
Curtis Axel. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I couldn't
Now,
help.
Curtis Axel at this time had a little thing, and he went on to do some fun. I enjoyed some of his later stuff, B Team and Ms. Taraj. I enjoyed that fun stuff. Okay, B Team was awesome. I enjoyed them a lot. But when he was first announced, when Heyman brought him out and said, "This is Curtis Axel," okay, were you disappointed?
Um, at the name change or what? Just like,
Yes, yes.
I mean, I thought it was better than Michael McGillicuddy or whatever he was going by before that,
Okay,
because that
but
was a
with
terrible
Paul,
name.
yes, that was a terrible name. I totally forgot about that till
I
just now.
wish they would have
Oh
just
my
made
goodness.
him Joe Hennig, you
Joe
know?
Hennig, that's right.
Right.
He should have, especially with Paul Heyman
Why?
bringing him out. I was
You
like,
know?
yes, this is it. And then he's like Curtis Axel, and I was like, okay. So you took, and I looked this up. You took his middle name, which was, you know, that's cool. And
Right.
then you took his grandpa's moniker,
Right.
and it's like, why? Just give him Joe the Perfect Son Hennig or something like that.
You know?
And then he never. Anyway, I've had a problem with Curtis Axel from the beginning, and it's
Maybe
not fair to
Axel
him.
Henning would have been
I
better,
have,
even. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
Joe the Axe Henning, something. It
right.
would have been awesome. The
Uh,
Perfect Axe. That doesn't sound cool, but something. Uh, anyway,
yes, seeing him come out here with Heyman, it just like, wow, this was that brief moment of time where they were like trying to make him a guy,
yeah,
you know, which is just weird.
yeah.
Um,
But the weird thing for me is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but was Mr. Perfect ever more than a mid card guy? Was he ever a main eventer?
technically, no, but yeah, technically, yes.
He was
Yes
just
and
a
no.
high mid card, right?
Well,
I mean, he's like, if you think about it, I could be wrong, but
I think if I pull up the mental Rolodex, what I want to say is that he was um the first actual main event he was supposed to have in WWE. He actually got hurt or whatever before, and they had to replace him with Razor, right? It was supposed to be
Okay.
him, and Flair against Macho and Warrior, I think it was.
So in a
And
tag team.
right, and they had to. It was a tag team main event. They had to replace. They had to replace him with Razor, and I think they had to replace Warrior with someone else as well. So like the original plan was completely
So
off
that's
because
early 90s.
that was like 92, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yes. 92 or
Okay.
93. 93, actually.
Yeah.
That would have been 93. And then I think technically he may have main evented a WCW pay per view or two by circumstance somehow, either in a tag match or I think, I don't know if he
But he
was in
was
the
never
main event in a War Games, maybe technically. Um, he would main event, nitros and stuff. So, I mean, if you count that, you know what I mean?
what I'm what I'm thinking what I was thinking about when I was watching him and he was the Intercontinental Champion. Mr. Perfect won the Intercontinental title and the US title, I'm almost positive.
Yes.
But he was never like
He was
I'd
never
like
the
to go
world
back and see
champion.
how many world championship even matches that he got. I wonder how many world champion matches that he got in his career.
I think he got
Like
the
shots at the belt.
right. That'd be interesting to see. I mean,
Yeah. I'd
beyond,
like to go back and look at that.
I don't even know. And I mean, I feel like such a fish for not knowing this off the top of my head, but I don't even know if
Because
AWA he was the champion. I think he was though. I think it was AWA champion, but that's it.
yeah. I'm just saying, like, as popular and how as revered as he is now,
I'm
he
like
was
60
never
40.
the
He was
guy.
AWA champion.
Yeah. Just saying, like, there's guys who are revered now as like the greats, you know what I mean? But who never were the guy. And I think that Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, is definitely in that list.
He might be
And
the top of that class. Yeah.
his son was a mid card guy turned into a joke guy. But anyway,
Isn't
I
he a
just wanted to point
producer
that
now? He's
out.
a producer for them, right?
Fired 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like I said, this was a whole 20 minutes that probably could have been saved, but it leads up to Axel having to wrestle second time in the night, defending his Intercontinental title against Kofi Kingston. And this was Jamaican
Jamaican
Kofi.
Kofi.
Jamaican Kofi Kingston, bro.
I love it. As soon as I seen him, I was like, it reminded me of that time Triple H told him, "Hey, didn't you have a Jamaican accent before? Do you
He's
remember that?
he's
Do you remember that scene? It's like one of the funniest scenes." Triple H is in the ring. There's like 5 wrestlers in the ring. Triple H has got the mic, and he looks over at Kofi. And he goes, "Hey, didn't you used to have a Jamaican accent?"
right. No, and
Oh
there's
man,
also a video where he breaks the accent when he was supposed to have it back in the like later on, you know what I mean, or not later on, but like it was, I think it was before that, where he
yeah,
and they were like, hey, wait, what happened to your accent, because you
yeah,
but there, yeah, there's a couple
yeah.
different
Eventually, that
instances of
just went
that.
away. Yeah,
Yeah, this is Jamaican Kofi before his chest caved in or whatever the hell happened. Not judging, just saying. uh
yeah,
just like this was, he had a different physique at the time and was still just a lower mid carder,
yep.
just kind of a utility guy, you know
Man,
pre New
this match
Day.
was good. I thought
Yeah, no,
I enjoyed this.
this this started out, I think, a little slow because that's kind of just Curtis Axel's style. But
Uh,
once it picked up and Kofi started hitting his stuff and everything, uh, then it got pretty good after that. I'll say.
Kofi did a spot when they were on the outside where he jumped to the stairs and then the top and then did a really cool looking crossbody when they're
Right.
on the outside. That was a cool spot. I enjoyed that. Uh, I don't know if you caught it, but the ref called there was like a 1-2 then the near fall and Cole called the near fall and Lawler said, "Oh, I had one of those once." And then JBL said something about it. It popped me for a little bit there.
There was a lot of nice quibs in this show. Good team, because you
Yeah,
have kind of two guys that can be funny, between Lawler and Bradshaw.
yeah.
Um,
I enjoyed the commentary.
yeah, Bradshaw can say some funny stuff from time to time, and playing off of Lawler was good. I like their team.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I had a question for you. I mean, dude, it's besides, like, I guess when the New Day first started, maybe, but I was thinking during this match, like, has Kofi ever been a heel? Like, actually a heel? Like, they tried to make them heels at first, right? But then, I mean, it
yeah,
didn't last long.
yeah. Because they're supposed to be like this weird religious black, like
Right. Yeah, whatever it
black
was at first.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. No, I don't think Kofi's been a heel. I think he's been
And
a solid,
yeah,
happy face guy,
he's
pretty
never
much.
he's never had a proper heel turn. Maybe that's still on the
Uh,
horizon someday.
uh,
You never know.
and I for some reason I don't remember Kofi doing the hand thing like he's tuning up the band or he slapped his. I For some reason I don't remember that.
Really?
Uh, well, I know he does the new Day Rocks thing now, but I don't remember him doing the tuning up the band by slapping his hands like that to do the Trouble in Paradise. But of course he missed it. That's how you do. You have to miss the first time
Right. No,
and then
that's
catch it
always
the next time.
that's been one of his things. It's something
Yeah,
he
huh?
carried on.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But
I don't remember the slap hands.
they do a good job of getting the crowd going, I guess, but ultimately, Axel wins, keeps the belt, heads
Yeah, his
into one of
finisher.
the
I don't remember his finisher either. It's like a weird neck breaker, dirty deeds looking thing. Which, when I say dirty deeds, we're going to talk about that later too.
right.
But that was a weird finish. I thought that was interesting.
He experimented with a few different things. For a while he was just using, I think he was using the perfect plex there for a
Yeah, that's
while,
what I
and then he
thought. He
did this
was
other
using like a
thing.
perfect flex,
Right.
but whatever. Who knows?
Well, they keep doing these polls throughout the whole
Oh,
show,
that match went 13:56, by the way.
right? A hair under 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting they kept showing these polls that they took on the website, and they didn't cut these out of the show.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't. I don't remember exactly what they all were, but I didn't agree with half of them. I remember.
I wrote a couple of them down. This first one they showed was Jericho as the number one intercontinental champion of all time.
Oh yeah, that one I was cool with. I remember.
Yeah,
He
I
was a
wrote a
good
few of them
IC
down.
champ.
Uh,
Okay.
then we get a RVD Ricardo backstage segment. They were together for a minute. Remember this?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Gosh,
Yeah.
wasn't a fan
Uh,
of it. What do you think? I mean,
no, no, not a big fan. But I thought it was funny he was saying that in Spanish, world champion was RVD. I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah, I mean, it was what it was. It was a nice little segment and everything. But I also mean, just the whole idea of it all together. I remember when they did this, and I remember thinking, why? This is never going to work. And of course, they ditched it like pretty quickly. This is a very
Yeah,
small wrinkle in
I
time
spent the
here.
whole match waiting for him to turn on him, but he, he never.
Right.
I was
I don't
like,
know. I don't
oh,
know if they ever did that. I think they just kind of like they did it for a while, and then they
then
just
he just left.
right. Then they just forgot about it. Yeah, RVD left
Huh,
or whatever the deal was. I don't know.
huh.
Um, maybe she could have had a little time to dig a little bit deeper into that if I would have known. But either way, then we see the future Mrs. CM Punk backstage.
Yeah, this is. I wrote AJ Lee and others because I couldn't recognize anybody but Fox. So, and then she said Layla, and I was like, oh shoot, that is Layla.
Yeah,
But I couldn't recognize the other girl.
I noticed Layla and Alicia Fox have no clue who the third woman was.
Yeah, I couldn't recognize her.
Is that Oksana? Was her name like
Was it?
Oksana or something like that?
Was that her? I don't know. I couldn't figure it out, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to rewind it to go get a closer look. So
Yeah, I didn't really care.
I apologize
Um,
to unknown third woman.
this was in the middle of AJ's crazy girl gimmick with the
Yeah,
Divas
the
title.
diva title is ridiculous.
The butterfly belt.
Yeah, I don't like it. I thought it's
eh,
ugly.
it was what it was. Now, then they show the poll of the number one Divas champion of all time, which was Trish. But it was funny that they listed like all the old women's
The
champions.
Great Moolah and
Like, Great Moolah was never the Divas champion. What the hell are you trying to pull?
but I 100% agreed with that one. I even said Trish before they put the numbers on.
I mean, if we're talking like that actual title specifically, probably, then yes.
Trish was never the Divas champion either.
But if you want to throw like every women's champion ever into it, like, I don't know, then there becomes a discussion. I think it would be
Before
someone more modern, really, who I would vote
before
for.
2013.
Before 2013, what do you like as the belt, or what do you mean, like the best?
Well, the poll was taken in 2013. So if you're
Right, right,
going from that day on, the best women's champion would be
right,
I don't know, Trish Stratus. I think would be the best one in my opinion.
right. If we're just counting like the modern diva era, then yeah, that would probably be the vote too. I mean, I wasn't arguing, I was just saying. Uh, let's see here. What do we do next? They recapped this whole Divas feud, which was nice to bring us up to speed on. This
I am
was,
not happy with this next match at all.
well, I mean, this is just one of those thrown together things where they're like, okay, well, we want to get 4 girls on pay per view. And it was probably intersecting with Total Divas or something like that. So they just had to throw this on the show.
Let me just tell you the things I did like.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, I'd like to throw out there that I think it's cool that Natty calls herself the boat, the best of all time instead of the greatest of all time. Uh, I liked hearing "Funk is on a Roll." Remember that song?
Oh
Funk
my
is on a roll.
gosh.
I love
Yes.
that.
I was like, wait a
I
minute.
love
I'm like, is Cameron coming out? I'm like, no, it's Naomi. It's early Naomi. I
Naomi.
forgot Naomi was a
Yeah,
funkadactyl.
Funkadelics, dude.
Yeah.
Funkadactyl. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, Bella Bright. I'm a big Brie fan, dude. I wish Brie would come to AEW. I would
Free
freak out
mode.
if Brie mode would come to AEW. I would be a huge fan. And
Yeah.
I love "Light It Up." That's such a good song.
Yeah. It
Light
was a
it up.
good era for the songs
Yeah,
all
and
across
I'm
the
a
board.
huge AJ Lee fan.
Yeah, for
I like
sure.
her a lot. So,
I was in and out during
That's what
this.
I liked about the match.
That was it. The entrances. Yeah, AJ in a four-way with Natty, Naomi, and Bree, like you mentioned there, and uh, AJ ends up tapping out Natty. That's really all I wrote down because, like I said, I was kind of
Okay,
half paying attention.
I got two more notes here. Did you see Naomi come off the top rope to do a crossbody to Natty, and then Natty just kind of fall, and Naomi went over the top of her, maybe like 6 inches above her head, but
Yeah,
Natty put out her hands to catch her. So I'm wondering if Natty fell early on accident, or she fell early on purpose to like do the reversal, but she didn't like she sold the stomach like she took a crossbody and like didn't get up to like capitalize on Naomi. It was such a weird moment that I mean I wrote down looks almost botchy.
there
And
there
then
was some clunkified stuff in here for sure.
and then the two girls, I don't remember which two it was, but they were laying on top of each other, shoulders down. Commentary is like, "The shoulders are down. Why aren't you counting?" And the ref's just staring down at him. They're like, "Count, ref. I mean, they're both down. Are you kidding me? Why are you counting?" And I'm like, "What is happening right now?"
Yeah,
Commentary is calling them out. And then it's Natty looking down at the girls and look at the audience, and the commentary goes, "They're still down." And then the whole thing was for her to put on the double sharpshooter. That's what the whole moment was for. There was like a 20 count on the ground, and the whole thing was for the double sharpshooter.
right.
And even at the end, JBL said something. Someone said something about the match, and JBL said, "And the blind ref." That match went 5 minutes and 40 seconds. A four-way. Ugh.
There was a lot of stuff on here that reminded me of just like amateur hour,
Yeah, it sickens.
that opening segment and this. But then we get RVD versus Del Rio.
Hold on a second.
And
They went to the panel, the pre-show panel,
oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
which was Santino Marella, Alex Riley, Booker T, and someone I call Drip. Have I told you about this before?
No.
Josh Matthews?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Okay. So one time on Raw, the commentary team was Matt Stryker and Josh Matthews. And Matt Stryker is like running down something on the card, and all of a sudden blood just drops out of Josh Matthews' mouth or out of his nose, and he's like this, and more blood just like comes rolling out, and it's like, what the heck? And he's just like like this, and it's like the camera kind of moves over to Matt Stryker, and it's just like, what the heck happened to Josh Matthews?
Oh my
Blood is just
gosh.
coming out of his nose. Yeah, it was weird.
So
You can
so
Google
yeah.
it. Josh Matthews bleeds on Raw, nosebleed on Raw. It's on there.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so me and my friend called him Drip for for a long time.
Drip. Old Drippy.
But but I just wanted to say Santino Marella and Alex Riley were on there.
Oh
So
gosh.
10 years later, I have to say where they're at. Santino's authority figure on TNA or on Impact,
Yeah.
and Alex Riley is the rare breed Kevin Kiley on NWA. So there you have it. A little "Where Are They Now" segment there.
Kevin Alex Riley is now Kevin Kiley.
Yes, the
Interesting.
rare breed.
Hmm.
And Santino Marella, I'm not sure what name he's using, but I think it's like his real name or something like that. Uh,
Um,
Pirelli.
sometimes like when they were both kind of doing indies and stuff, I used to get Alex Riley confused with Eli Drake all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird. But we
Now
get,
we got the world title match.
yes, World Heavyweight title. Del Rio defending against RVD with his old manager, Ricardo Rodriguez. This is just one of those things that they just slapped together that really didn't make too much sense.
No.
Just to give the match a storyline of some sort, I suppose, and
Yeah.
because like you mentioned, he didn't go, he wasn't with him too much longer after this either.
I didn't
So,
have much notes for this. This match did not flow for me.
um, all I know is that Alberto Del Rio is going to be a Dark Side of the Ring episode at some point here in the next couple years, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, he is for sure.
You know, um,
It this
it was
match.
fine.
The first note I wrote down was "Don't flow." It just seemed very, very clunky to me. It's like their styles didn't match, or they didn't talk about what was going on beforehand. I mean, they knew that what they were doing, but maybe they just weren't like, I don't know, maybe they don't know each other. They just never talked before today or something. I don't know. It just didn't seem like they know each other very well.
It
You know what I
seems
mean?
to me that Del Rio, and I don't know if he had a good match besides like his
Yeah, I
matches
was never
with
a fan of his.
right, like when he was with like a superstar, he did pretty good, right? Like it seems like he had some okay matches with Cena. I think him and Punk had some okay bouts. Um, I think him and Rey Mysterio a couple times is okay, but he wasn't able to like, I don't know. It just he wasn't able to elevate someone else. He's one of those guys, right? He would work
Yeah,
great with another star, but him trying to be the main star and like the caller of the match doesn't necessarily work. I think
yeah.
that's
I
what
was
they were
just
trying to do here. And Van Dam, I don't know. I mean, he was just kind of phoning it in, I think, at this point.
I've always been a fan of RVD. I like his
Absolutely.
move set.
100%. But yeah, I think at this point, he was pretty much like, he realized like where he was in WWE. This was like one of his returns, right? Like he was gone and then it
Yeah,
came back.
yeah.
So he was just there to make some money, man. He didn't really.
Um, One of the things I wrote down was Alberto Del Rio did this thing like it was almost like he was setting up for the Panama Sunrise, but
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
but then he came off of it and got kicked in the head. So it's like, I don't know, he was gonna do something off the top rope or off the middle rope, but all he did is jump down like Cole does for the Panama Sunrise. That's all he did. He just jumped down like this and then got booted. So I'm like,
I think he
okay,
did
well,
do a move kind of like that.
really?
Possibly.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but it was just really weird. I was like, you don't do the Panama Sunrise. Don't do anything like that.
Hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah, no, it's kind of hard to picture now that you mention it.
Yeah, maybe the other thing he could have been going for is like maybe a double axe handle, and then changed his mind, jumped down, and then got kicked in the head. But it just all looked really weird. So take that for what it is.
I think I missed some stuff maybe here. The next note I have written down after the Del Rio match is just it literally says Mizco Inferno with a question mark.
Oh yeah.
So was
I
there
have that
anything?
written down too.
Was
Well,
there,
the finish, the finish for that Del Rio match was super stupid. He
right.
just put him in the arm bar and then didn't let go after he got the rope, so he kept the title.
And then
So then,
RVD kicked his ass afterwards.
so yeah, oh yeah, I'll get to that. And then
Mm-hmm.
Lillian announced RVD as the winner by disqualification, and then they played his music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Lillian said, "But still the world champion, Alberto Del Rio." Then they played his music.
Right.
I was like, "What? Why would you do that?" Um, Yeah, then he was gonna hit him with a chair, and Ricardo Rodriguez stopped him, and then RVD did whatever, you know. And then he puts him in the corner, and Ricardo Rodriguez holds the chair, okay, for a move that is called coast to coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he jumps off the one
Well,
rope.
actually, actually, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, and then I'll come in and
Okay,
see if I need to correct.
so when he jumps off the rope and he does a kick all the way to the other side of the rope, and he kicks him. That's called a coast to coast, right?
It is, but it's not. If that
I
makes
don't
any
understand
sense.
that.
Okay.
But Michael Cole said Van Daminator, and then doubled down and said Van Daminator again. What
Mm-hmm.
the Van Daminator is that kick that he does. And then when he throws the chair up in the air and they catch it and he does the kick, that's the Van Terminator. Am I right on those?
Okay. My understanding. Okay. The Van Daminator is the chair with the roundhouse kick thing, the spin kick.
Yes.
Throw the chair,
Okay.
the guy catches it, he kicks him in the face with the chair. That's the Van Daminator. That the move, that coast to coast move, it was actually first done by Van Dam. Shane
Yes.
Shane stole it from RVD.
Yes.
I don't know if
Yes. Yes.
RVD
For
stole
sure.
it from someone, but the first guy that did it was Van Dam, and it wasn't with the trash can, it was with the chair. And that
Yes.
was actually called the Van Terminator.
Oh, okay. So
So,
that's the Van Terminator.
right, exactly. Yeah, so that
Oh,
was the whole thing. Because he had the Van Daminator already. Like we had seen that,
that's
he
the
did that.
kick.
That was like his
Okay.
trademark, right? But it was this thing in ECW where I don't know if he like said the name of the move beforehand or whatever, but he like I think he did. He like called it out. He's like, pretty soon I'm gonna debut the Van Terminator, or whatever, and like no one knew what it was. And then like that next pay-per-view or whatever, I kind of can't remember who he was wrestling. But yes, like that next pay-per-view, he did it. And it was everyone was like, holy shit. Because like
Oh, okay.
because no one had ever seen it before.
Got
It
it.
was super
All right.
crazy. But yes. Gosh.
So his coast to coast was called the Van Terminator.
Called the Van Terminator. He did it in
Got it.
ECW
All right.
in like 99, I want to say maybe 2000. And then Shane did it for the first time in WWE at WrestleMania 17,
Yeah, I was
2001.
watching him on a AE on a Hey UW, and he was saying that he was telling what's his face RJ City um that he was cool with Shane McMahon doing the coast to coast, and he was all right with it.
Right.
I did not know that that's what he called the Van Terminator.
Yes. No,
So
the coast to coast is a WWE rebranding term, I
got
guess.
it. All right,
Yeah. But I
all
mean,
right then.
As far as I know, the move was created by Van Damme, and that was originally the Van
I,
Terminator.
yes, I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we got
That match went 13:07.
all right. So we got a little bit of a trend here. Just all these matches keeping them under 15 minutes, give or take. Well, no, did we get a time on the girls?
Yeah,
It was like
5:40.
a 5:40. Okay. Uh, this rolls
So the
into
next match was Fandango with Summer Rae versus Miz.
yes.
And what happened was on the previous SmackDown they had a dance off between Fandango, the Great Khali, R-Truth, and the Miz dressed as Mizco Inferno. And he had the afro and he had the Disco Inferno outfit and everything. He looked pretty cool.
Bro, I hate to
I
say
I wrote down Mizco Inferno too.
I hate to say it, right? But hey, I guess technically the dance off wasn't on this show,
No.
right? So it was, yeah, but they kind of showed it, but it still kind of reminded you of it. There were so many things on this show that to me were very um that one promotion tastic. It was like directly
Yeah.
influenced. Like I'm like, he's probably really watching the product during this time. And it actually, I mean, we were working, I think, during this time, if I'm not mistaken, 2013. Were we doing
Uh,
stuff by this point? I think we may have
I
been.
believe so.
No, wait, 2013, I think was I think all that was done at that point was the 4th of July thing. And then
I don't know.
I think we started just after this. I think that the armory stuff started in like November of that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
But I could be wrong. But I
Uh,
when watching this match, dude, I just got to thinking, Vince Fandango, man, he beat Jericho at right.
Fandango.
He beats Jericho at Mania, and
In
now
his
here
first
he
match.
is. Yes.
This reminded me about how good, how giving of a wrestler Jericho really is. You know what I mean? He put over Fandango in his first match at WrestleMania, and then what he just did for Action Andretti. I mean, that guy has been in the business for what? He just had his 30th anniversary. Is that right,
Yeah.
Jericho?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And
have you
he's
ever heard the story about that? Have you seen that?
about what?
Jericho tell the Fandango story?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay. Well, just for real quick, I'll just give this to you. There's this like real thing going around. It's like one of those inside the ropes deals, and he's talking to like the crowd or whatever, like during one of those Q&A things, and he's telling the Fandango story about how he didn't want to do it when Vince told him that he was going to be wrestling Fandango and losing at Mania. He was like so pissed off,
Oh shoot.
and he threw like a big fit about it. And then I guess like he ended up talking to Taker, and he told Taker like how pissed off he was about it, and Taker just kind of like looked at him and was like, "What's the big deal again?" Like you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, and for I don't know, it was just like, of course he tells it like way better, but basically like Taker convinced him, that like it wasn't a big deal, and he's just got to do his job, basically, just whatever, if that's what Vince wants, that's what you got to do, so
Yeah.
just do it. And it like just totally changed his perspective on the whole thing. Whatever Taker said, Taker pulled his like Yoda fucking Jedi
Yep.
magic on Jericho, and then Jericho was like, all right, it's totally cool.
And then And he still does it to this day. Still putting over young talent.
Yeah, so, but then here we have Fandango just 6 months later wrestling The Miz, which at least he's on the card, but he ends up doing the JOB on the PPV.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. So there you go on that one.
let's see here. That's pretty much
And
all
I
the.
like his name now. His name now is Dirty Dango.
I hate it. I wish he'd just be like, isn't
Really?
Johnny Curtis his real name? Why can't he be
Yeah.
Johnny Curtis again?
I don't know, but I like Dirty Dango. He
I don't
wrestles
know.
for I think NWA right now.
I think,
And Dirty Dango.
I think
Um,
he's one of the guys. He could make it if he reinvented himself. You know what I mean?
a couple things I said about this match. It's a face Miz.
Right? Isn't that weird? I
Yeah,
never really thought about it like that, but yeah, you're
yeah,
right. He was the face in the
yeah. It was
situation.
interesting.
Huh.
There was the crowd was mostly dead. A couple weird chants. Like there was the camera was on Summer Rae a couple times, and one of the times there was like a very faint "Show your tits" chant.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
this crowd
it
was
only
garbage,
lasted a
man.
second.
Detroit, such a rough crowd.
Yeah, it was only a faint chant, and it only lasted a second that she was on the screen, but I heard it. And then there was a "We want tables" chant, and it's a regular match, and I'm like, you're not getting a table. Stop
Yeah,
chanting "We want tables." Yeah,
this
and then there
chant.
was a spot that I really liked. This is my I only wrote down three notes for this match. Um, this you
So
don't see
yeah,
this spot in matches ever.
it is
Miz
what it
on the
is.
outside of the rope on the apron.
You got the
Dango had
Dango,
him by the hand
you
and
got the
kind of like
Miz. I can't
whipped
remember where
him,
we were.
like ran him. Miz wins with the figure four.
Yes,
It's 7 minutes and 49 seconds. The match was
and Dango's career is on the way out.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
Hey,
I
and the next thing I wrote down after that was when they're showing the video package for the next match. I saw Brad Maddox.
Oh my gosh,
Remember old Brad Maddox?
talking about a blast from the past. No pun
Oh,
intended.
Brad Maddox. A blast.
Um,
A blast from the past. Oh. Oh. If you don't know who Brad Maddox is, don't Google him.
do not Google his name.
Or any other searchable websites.
So
Yeah.
we then roll into one of the main events here. Technically, the
Yeah.
Punk versus Axel and Paul Heyman.
Mutton Chop Punk.
Yeah. This was a good look, the Wolverine look.
Yeah.
And this was him doing his thing as he wasn't in the title picture here. This was actually just before everything went to crap. I mean, this is literally like his last 4 months in WWE right here, doing this. This final.
For some reason, I didn't catch in the beginning that this was an elimination match. I don't know why that just kept skipping past me.
That's why that's why I was like, well, okay, well, what's the big deal?
Yeah. I
Heyman could
thought it was
just
just
never
a
be in the
handicap.
match.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't get it that it was elimination for some reason until like Axel lost, and then they're like, Heyman's left, and I'm like, yeah, Axel lost, and I was like, okay.
You're right.
Uh, now Heyman's
Uh,
up. But
Punk,
anyway, yeah, spoilers.
Punk,
Um,
Punk gets his hands on him early. Axel takes over.
well, that
Uh,
dive was awesome.
the crowd,
Paul's out there like sulking, and Punk hits this dive when he's not even looking, which I thought was kind of interesting.
The crowd was demanding tables at this point. They were not going to have any more of it. They figured if they're going to get it, it had to be here. So they annoyingly started chanting for tables and God knows what else. There were so many chants.
There was a
Um,
walrus chant.
I didn't get that. What is?
Uh, I think Punk called him a walrus, and probably in one of the promos before this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
crowd was no good. Heyman
Um,
was pretty funny throughout the match, I thought.
you know, Heyman's always money. You know, he did the thing. He grew out the 5 o'clock shadow, which I swear was something that they did recently during the bloodline angle at some point where he was like stressed out and they had him grow out his facial hair a little bit or something, I think, or maybe, I don't know. Could be wrong.
Um, there was a chair shot when Punk did a dive on the opposite side of the ring from Paul Heyman. He did a dive on Curtis Axel, and Curtis Axel threw the chair up. It looked really good to me, but the commentary said it was a glancing blow, and I was like, I don't know. It looked pretty good to me.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not looked pretty good.
maybe one of
So
those
anyway,
oversells or
yeah,
undersells.
yeah, it looked good.
Punk ends up tapping Axel, uh, and then he gives chase to
Oh,
Paul.
Paul's
Finally
face
catches
when he
him. You're right. Then he finally catches him and he tries to hug him, and then and Punk just starts laughing. Then he whoops his ass with the kendo stick.
and then you find out that CM Punk wrestled the entire match with handcuffs in his boots.
Right. Yes. Pulls out the handcuffs Heyman, beats him with the kendo stick some more.
He,
Everything looks
did,
completely hopeless.
did you hear Heyman yelling, "I'm tapping, I'm tapping"?
Yes.
I was like, "What? Ref, can you hear him?"
And then Paul Heyman's apparently newest hero in the brigade,
Feed
the
me more.
the big guy, Ryback, shows up, does like a carrying spear onto CM Punk.
Slices CM Punk's whole back up.
Yep. Into a table set up into the corner. So people got the table that they wanted because they called for tables yet again after that. Um,
Yeah. Isn't it? It doesn't CM Punk like uh hate Ryback? Isn't that like a known fact that CM Punk doesn't like Ryback? Or am
they
I off on that?
they did have other issues. They started working together, I guess. It was during this period. No, wait, they had worked together before that, I thought.
No, I mean like right now, like on like personally. Are they like not homies like right now?
Well, I mean,
For some reason I
who
thought
who who can
there's
say
something
that
in that.
they're really friends with CM Punk? You know, there's not a whole lot of dudes
Or right.
probably. Right. So, I mean, take that for what it is. I mean,
That match went 15-22, by the way.
okay. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was good stuff. It reminded me of simpler times. This was before
Yeah.
we knew that, Punk was so unhappy as he would come to be there shortly afterwards and
Oh,
leave just 4 months later.
and Ryback picked up Paul Heyman and carried him all the way to the
Yeah,
back.
right.
Excuse me.
Gazoon type, my
Um,
friend.
and um, he looked like he was struggling trying to get Paul up and carry him.
So from there, we go into Dolph Ziggler challenging Dean Ambrose for the U.S. title.
I
Nice
think it was
quick little match.
I think it was the best match, maybe second best match of the night. I enjoyed this match a lot.
Dolph was really working his ass off. Um, Ambrose probably at the top of his game, really had something to
Yep.
prove at this point as well.
Peak
Um,
Shield Dean.
yeah, I mean, this is right in the middle, smack dab in the middle of that Shield run. They were about a year in at this point. Seth and Roman had the tag belts. Uh, Dean had the U.S. belt. And Ziggler was just coming off a big world title win right after WrestleMania. But as you can see at this point, 6 months later, that belt's back on Del Rio. And here he is in a U.S. title feud with Ambrose. So, tough scene.
Yeah.
You know?
When you lay it out like that.
That's all I was thinking about, man. Was like, man, Fandango at Mania was a huge deal. Here he is losing to The Miz. And here's Dolph, who, being at that Mania, I was like sitting there waiting for him to cash in that briefcase. And of course, I didn't go to the Raw after. I flew home, the next morning. So, I missed the cash in. I wasn't a part of that moment, which kind of sucks. But
yeah. Probably one of the best cashes yet.
right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I thought it would happen during the show, but it did not.
Dolph does a 10 count elbow, which I don't remember him doing either. He did 10 elbow drops the audience counted with. Thought that was interesting.
Little something he was trying there for a while.
Yeah.
Baby
And then
face
later on,
Flair.
he did a 10 count punch in the corner. So I don't. He just likes making the audience count, I guess.
Yeah.
So
He's out there doing the famouser, because he's like, since I have the Billy Gunn trunks, I should do the Billy Gunn move.
And he does the famouser better than the Guns do, the boys.
Oh, see, there you go.
Makes it look nicer than they do. So.
And hey, also what I thought about is that we're gonna maybe see this match here soon, right? Possible.
Oh, that would be amazing.
We could see an updated version of this match.
The rest hold that Dean did was a straight jacket looking choke hold, which I thought was cool.
Right. Yeah.
For a rest move, I thought that was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. At least spice it up a little bit. Give us something more than just like your normal sleeper or something like that. No, nice, quick, fast paced. So they made sure to fit in all their stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get. I mean, what did this match finish at?
9:37.
See, there you go. I mean, we only got 10 minutes. Let's book it.
Yep.
Let's fit a 20-minute match into 10 minutes. Basically what they did here.
He did the rake the back. Mox still does that. So
right.
That rake the back thing is his thing, man. He loves it.
Yeah.
And then he took a long time to get to the top rope. Mox did. Stood there, looked at, Ambrose.
Right.
Sorry. Ambrose took a long time to get to the top. And Dolph comes and hits a huge avalanche X Factor. It looked amazing. Dolph Ziggler is the best. Excuse me. Yeah.
Got
Dolph
so
Ziggler's
excited the earpiece came out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Amazing.
So
then the best thing happens ever. Ambrose hits the original Dirty Deeds.
Yes.
Do you remember that one?
With it's like he has them hooked, but he has the
DDT.
Right.
Yeah, that was the Dirty Deeds before he changed it to the double underhook DDT.
Right. It
He
was
would just grab them
prior
by
to
the
the hook.
head. Yeah, yeah, he just grabbed them by the head. It was almost like the stroke, but instead of like a Russian leg sweep type thing, he just grabs them by the head and just falls forward, kind of. Yeah.
Then
When
eventually he
that
was like,
disappeared,
I'm not going to do that.
yeah, when that disappeared and they started calling the double arm DDT the Dirty Deeds, I was like, wait a minute, you can't just keep the name and change the move. That's not that's not cool.
That's what Michael Cole does, bro. Sometimes I don't even think the wrestlers know it, and he just takes these liberties on his own.
So then we had the tag team title match next.
Primetime players against the Shield, Roman and Seth.
We gotta figure out how we did that because there's a tag team turmoil match on the kickoff show. Let's see here.
Oh, so that's how they
Eliminated
got the shot.
first. Yeah, I'll run that down real quick. Eliminated first was 3MB, and they were eliminated by Tons of Funk, which is Brodus Clay and Tenzai.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
eliminated second by the Real Americans. The let's see, the Real Americans eliminated the Usos third, and then the Primetime Players eliminated the Real Americans fourth, which means Darren Young and Titus O'Neil got the tag team match against the champions, which is Roman Reigns with the chest protector and half blonde Seth.
That was a great look. I thought that look was
I
the
love
greatest.
half blonde Seth, man.
The one question I did have about this match is since they came out and celebrated with Dean at the end of his match, why didn't they just stay out there if their match was next? You know what I mean?
Oh, they didn't? I think I fast forwarded it.
I
They didn't stay out there?
I don't believe so because the first entrance I thought was Primetime Players, but I don't know. Maybe
I don't
I
know.
maybe I miscommunicated. I did a little bit of fast forwarding myself, and maybe I just missed it,
I have to get through it.
misconstrued it. But it seemed to me like they did an entrance, and it was like, why? But
Um,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got two notes that I thought were interesting. I really liked the whistle stomps in the corner.
Right.
I thought those were really cool. Titus O'Neil with some whistle stomps.
You know.
And then Michael Cole said something that that really caught me off guard. I think I was writing down no, I think I was searching online for notes, and I heard hot dogging caught up with the Shield.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what? Hot dogging? Hot dogging caught up with the Shield.
Hot
All right,
noggin.
hot dogging.
Well,
Yeah. Anyway,
so we roll into this main event, Vito, and man,
Shield wins
yes,
at 6:59.
yes. Another quick one. Get the Shield on the show. Get them to beat someone that isn't going to matter in the long run, which unfortunately was the primetime players. But we roll into this main event. Completely weird paradox for me. So apparently the timeline on this, okay, we had Daniel Bryan finally winning the title at SummerSlam, which happened the month before this. But then they did the thing where like Orton came and cashed in immediately or something like that, right? They screwed him somehow. And someone like got the belt from him immediately. Am I remembering that right? That's how this got set up.
I think so. I wasn't clear on that part.
So then we go into this match, which is another Daniel Bryan versus the Authority, and and then he comes in.
Plus player.
Right, and then he comes in and wins.
Yeah.
And
The
it's like,
crowd was dead for this whole show, and they came alive in this match.
Oh, for sure.
It's like they were saving all their energy for Daniel Bryan.
This was the Yes era, man.
Yeah, this storyline made his career. I mean, the American Dragon was amazing in Ring of Honor, and on the Indies he had his own career, but he was really nobody until this Yes movement. Then that blew up, and he rode that into AEW where he's at now.
Well, it just blows my mind that here, he won the title for a second time here. Obviously, he loses it again sometime in the intermittent, and then ends up in the WrestleMania storyline for the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like WWE tried to appease the fans by giving him these like little reigns, like, during this period of time. And then they were, of course, the plan was Batista, right? It was going to be Batista versus Triple H, or Batista versus Orton, or whatever was supposed to be the Mania main event that was penciled in. And then they ended up doing the Daniel Bryan thing. But it's just weird how they paint that as part of the history, and they don't talk about the fact that, well, he won the title twice, like 6 months before that. Like they don't mention that part.
And this was a good match, but I mean I don't know. It is what it is. Take it for what it is.
It
It was
wasn't amazing, but it was a WWE main event. It was a caliber main
yeah.
event, and that's what it
They
was.
I like the flying goat stuff. They called him a flying goat a couple times. The Drake DDT to the outside looked really brutal. I thought that looked really good.
All the
There was
classic
a lot
spots.
of hair pulling. There's a lot of hair pulling in this match, and Randy don't have hair, so. And the ending was weird for me. It was a very fast count. Did you see
Yes.
that?
Now, if I don't, I didn't really look forward because we just finished this before we came on. But yes, I think that plays into the story somehow. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure
I don't
they come
remember
out
that
on
either.
Raw, and I want to say that Armstrong ends up getting fired for the fast count
Okay.
or something,
Okay.
and
All right.
and they end up doing whatever.
All right. That match went 17:38.
Wow. No, I mean for under 20 minutes.
So let's rate the show, and then I'll give out some numbers. Some interesting numbers. What do you got? What's your star rating?
Well, bro, altogether, I don't know if I would ever watch this show again by
Oh,
choice,
there's no
because there
way.
was really nothing. There was really nothing to it. I mean, it was kind of cool seeing Daniel Bryan win in the main event, but I think we know that it's tarnished. Afterwards, it was an okay
Oh yeah.
match. It wasn't a blowaway one.
No, the
Uh,
match that only got me was the Dolph versus Dean. I really loved that match. It was a
I
great
mean,
match.
I think you're right. I mean, I think that was, probably the most interesting thing on this whole
Yeah.
thing. What's jumping out to me is probably a 2-star. This is like when you
Yeah.
go to Motel 6, and it's like, all right, man, like I'm comfortable and everything, but it's
Yeah.
not it's not the greatest. You wish you were in the Hilton,
Yeah. I
but
think I'll stick with 2-star too, just because giving it lower would be rude. Because I did get to see. I mean, that Fandango Miz match was good. I thought it was good, but I think the crowd really makes this bad. I think that's what brings us down to 2 stars and not like 3 stars. The crowd took me out a lot of
That was
this.
part of it. Now, did you notice I saw at the very end, there was a Detroit legend in the crowd right at the corner, like as Daniel Bryan was walking out, the corner of the ramp there where you like turn the corner there in the front. You know what I'm talking about? You spot
Yeah?
the Detroit legend that was sitting right there.
No. No.
If you're interested, go back and watch. You can spot the one and only Violent J from Insane Clown Posse without the makeup, sitting
Really?
sitting right there. Yes, very
I will
large
go back
man.
and see that.
Have you ever seen him without his face paint on? Seen pictures of
Yes.
him? Okay, you'll
Yes, I have.
definitely notice then. Yes,
Yes.
but yeah, I was like,
Um,
was that Violet J? And I had to rewind it. And I'm like, yes, it was.
I'm a juggalo-ish.
See, there you go. I I thought I remembered that about you. So yeah, there'll be an
Yeah,
interesting
I'm
nugget
a
for you to go
juggalo-ish.
back and look. Yeah, and I was like, okay, it was in Detroit. So yes, that was definitely Violent J.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah.
Um, okay, you ready for my interesting numbers?
Okay, go for it.
Okay. There was 32 people on the card, including Paul Heyman, Zeb Coulter, and Ricardo Rodriguez. Okay, because Zeb was on the kickoff show.
Okay.
13 of those people still work there. Okay, five of them, or five of those 32 people, work for AEW. Three of them work for Impact, and the tag team champions on that show are now both world champions, current world champions
Wow.
in WWE. So that's my numbers.
That
Now
is
I can.
crazy, man. So a third of the roster that was on this card is still there, roughly. If we have 32 out of
Yeah,
13 out of 32,
yeah.
maybe not even a third, because 13.
Little. That's around half ish. Half of 30 is
No, it's way
15.
less.
So
It's way less than that. It's more like a quarter, I think, is how it would work out.
we're not
Because
here to do
13,
math.
I don't know, man.
We're here to talk wrestling,
It's
not
some
math.
fraction that we don't know. All right.
Um,
Uh,
yeah. There's a. I mean, um, there's a something I wanted to read about Alberto Del Rio that I thought was interesting. Um, he's signed a contract with UFC. He's their Spanish commentator in the UFC now.
all right, right, right.
Uh,
So
he
he's technically a WWE employee.
holy shit, you're right.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Um,
As well as CM Punk. I mean, technically, he is employed as an announcer for UFC as well. So he is an
so like I
Endeavor
was saying,
employee, just like WWE employees are.
Curtis Axel did work with WWE up until 3 months ago. Um,
Oh, snap, bro.
Tensai still works there. Matt Bloom works with NXT. Tyrus, who was what's his face? Uh, Funka,
Yeah,
Funkasaurus.
Brodus Clay. Yeah.
Yeah, Bros Clay, that was his name. Tyrus just retired after losing the NWA title. He's now just a Fox News guy. Uh, Fandango, I said he works at in between NWA and Impact. Del Rio is whatever he does. Santino Morello is Impact uh, authority figure. Titus O'Neil still works at WWE. My problem is that he never became world champion. I think he could have became world champion. I think he's a big man. He's kind of funny.
Who are you talking
He's
about?
got the physique. Titus O'Neil.
Titus?
I don't think he got the fair shake. And the fact that
Hey,
he's in
man.
the Hall of Fame for just doing um charity is kind of messed up. He's
Uh,
not in there for wrestling. And then the other thing, there's
I don't
another
know if
person
I've
I pulled
ever.
up here.
I mean, but I don't know if I've ever seen it. But hey, if Jinder Mahal could be the champion, then
See what I
why
mean?
not Titus?
And who's this? Who did I look? Oh, and Darren Young, the other member of Primetime Players, he is now working for New Japan. So there's a quick rundown of where are they now. So
Those are the hard stats, and those are the facts, folks. That is a
that's
Super
right.
Kick Weekly rundown of Night of
That's right.
Champions 2013. Just real quickly here, Vito, before we get out. Jade Cargill to WWE. What do you think, man?
I'm ready to see Jade Cargill versus Charlotte. A lot of people want to see Bianca Belair. I want to see Charlotte.
Man,
I'd rather see her and Bianca Belair win the tag titles, if anything, as long as the curse isn't real. But I'd rather see her wrestle Charlotte. I'm down for that. Ready now. Hook it
is
up.
isn't it kind of weird how Jade has now made her way over, and we're just in the wake of the tease of Mercedes coming in to AEW. It's almost like they did a trade in a
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean? Like they traded her Sasha for Jade. It's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I think of it.
Yep.
But yeah, there was a couple other little news bits. I think here, very interesting episode of Dynamite. Who do you think's in the Devil Mask? There's a couple theories out there. Have you heard these theories?
I have. I
Yeah,
have heard the theories. The funniest theory I think is hilarious is that Adam Cole's injury is a work.
right. Yes.
Oh man. Uh I don't know. I like the one that everyone's going with. It suits me. Kyle O'Reilly in the Kingdom. I like that.
I think either one of them makes sense. You know,
Yeah. I
uh,
like Kyle O'Reilly in the Kingdom.
I think that's fine. I think if that other big thing happens, that would also be fine with me as well. So, or
I
it could
don't
be
like
something
the
completely different.
people who are saying it's the Bullet Club. I don't think that's good.
Yeah,
But
that would probably be
um
kind of a disappointment.
yeah. Yeah, I dig the Kingdom idea.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. If the other thing
Yeah.
doesn't happen, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Either way. But
Yeah.
we have big pay-per-view coming up this weekend, Wrestle Dream. So yeah, AEW apparently doing more and more of these pay-per-views now. This is going to usher in, I guess, the new era of the monthly pay-per-views. So we'll see how that does. I don't know,
Do
man.
we
I know I can't
um
really do it every month, but some of these shows, it's going to be hard for me to say no. You know, I'm having trouble enough. Like I'm really trying to hold out and not do this one, but I'm like, I want to, but then again, it's like, man, I don't know.
do
Trying to
we
save money for tickets to the Portland Dynamite.
want to run down that show real quick or
I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up for now. I got to get kids ready for a soccer game here.
all right.
Full
How
disclosure.
about we review that show next week?
Yes.
We'll talk about the results of that show next week.
One way or another, I will get to watch the show, even if I got to pirate it. We will watch it.
Ooh.
I didn't say that.
What?
Until next time, Big Vito T, give me some, my man. Too sweet me. Give me some scissors. And we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.